Aisling Horgan-Wallace. And Aisling, you're obviously very, very upset about Amy, but you're also tremendously upset that somebody that has linked you with being with her on the day that she died, and therefore some people are thinking you in some way could have prevented this. Yeah,
a certain journalist said that I was seen with her a few days before, and we'd got out of a cab and she collapsed and I helped her in, and he also said that, you know, I need to ask myself basically what I was thinking of being in that situation with Amy when she was perhaps quite fragile, but there's absolutely not one scrap of truth in it.
When did you last see her?
The last time I saw Amy was before I went to Ireland. I was filming in Ireland, and that was about, I can't even, months ago, like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Now, the consequence of this claim is what for you personally?
Well, it's devastating. I'm heartbroken anyway, losing Amy. I just want her back. But then to have this thrown at me and all the internet hate that I'm getting now, the messages have just been just vile, and it's hard because it's not true either. There's not a scrap of truth in it.
So what would you like to say to people about the relationship that you had with Amy?
She was wonderful. She was just a wonderful person. You know, the papers are saying the last time I was with her, I was drinking. In fact, the last time I was with her was in her house, in her kitchen. We was drinking tea and having a girly gossip, as I would with any friend, just talking about guys.
And how did you two meet, and how did you become friends?
Oh, we met years ago through a mutual friend. She'd seen me on Big Brother at my worst, and she wanted to meet me. And our mutual friend sort of set it up, and I was very honoured to meet her. But then when we met, we just clicked straight away, and it wasn't, you know, it was a friendship rather than being in awe of her. She's just a fantastic woman that made everyone feel comfortable, and she's very loving.
That comes across a lot. So many people are saying, you know, that she's a very loving
Absolutely.
woman. And, you know, we sadly, the images we saw from the press and on TV were of Amy when she'd been drinking or taking drugs. We didn't really know the other side of her, the public.
Well, that's unfortunately the case here, and the press, unfortunately, they always want the horror story. They don't want the nice stories. And Amy was a very homely girl and just loved to love.
But the horror story probably killed her. I mean, that is the thing. The cause of death is yet to be determined. How often would you talk about her addiction situation, for instance?
I've dealt with addiction in my own family, and it's hard to speak to the person about it. But what I will say is that it's not glamorous, it's not exciting, and that there are a lot of people suffering from addiction, and the first step is to admit it. And Amy did admit it, and she got herself completely well, and she did the impossible, which was to get clean, and that is the impossible.
How hard was it as a friend to see her when she was down and when she was, you know, in the periods where she was drinking and taking drugs? That must be very hard when you know that the real Amy is so different to that.
Of course it's hard. But I've seen it before, and I'm just so proud of her for getting past it and overcoming it. She did the impossible, as I say, and she really did.
Aisling, where were you on Saturday then when the news started to break? How did you hear it?
I was with one of Amy's best friends, and she got the call, and we went straight to the house, and that's how I knew. But it didn't sink in. You know, these things come in waves. You sort of believe it, and then you don't, and then you think, this is not real, it's not happening, she'll be fine. But unfortunately, you know.
Well, we're very sorry you've lost your friend, and, you know, we said such a talented girl, and terribly heartbreaking pictures of her parents and brother and things in the paper this morning. Thank you for coming in and telling us about the Amy that you knew and loved, and I'm sorry it's so upsetting.
Thank you, and I just hope that, you know, she's remembered for her amazing talent, and how beautiful a person she was.
Yeah, I'm sure she will be.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a competition for you now, a summer competition where you could win £100,000